Let's start from the heart. The heart of the UK, yes, but a heart of passion and pride too. It's time to take centre stage, to explore stories that might just surprise and move you. Time to embrace experiences that delight and lift you. We're getting everyone in one place, our place, uniting cultures and contrasting voices. The race has started, and we're up and running. You can see dazzling talent everywhere you look, along with the well-honed skills to pull off something special. Join us, together, creating a wall of sound and an explosion of colour so exciting you can taste it. One region, one community, one thriving international home. The West Midlands.
Hello and good afternoon. My name is Joel Lavery, Strategic Lead for Major Sporting Events at the West Midlands Growth Company. It's a real honour to be here amongst such esteemed guests and delegates, and hopefully I'm going to share with you some interesting insights into our work on the Birmingham 22 Commonwealth Games Business and Tourism Programme. More importantly though, I'm here to listen and learn and very much look forward to gaining some insights from yourselves over the course of the next couple of days, and so thank you for the invitation to be here. So for a long time we've rightly focused in the UK and as an industry on how we use major events to deliver social, cultural, economic and environmental outcomes. In my humble opinion and in my experience, I think this business and tourism programme is a really exciting and potentially groundbreaking new approach where business, trade and investment meets tourism, culture and sport. So I'm delighted to be able to share some early insights with you today and hopefully make a small contribution to the debate at the conference. I hope to be able to leave some time for questions, but please do feel to follow up with me after today. My contact details are on the slide in front of you. I'd be delighted to compare notes. The Business and Tourism Programme is a £24 million UK government investment by DCMS and West Midlands Combined Authority to boost trade, tourism and investment for Birmingham, West Midlands and the UK. It's delivered by West Midlands Growth Company, Department for International Trade and Visit Britain, and supported by our partners at Birmingham 2022, the Commonwealth Games Federation, and hosts Birmingham City Council. I think what's really significant is that through the leadership of the West Midlands Growth Company and our Chief Exec Neil Rami, is the breadth and depth of opportunity that this new model presents. The West Midlands Growth Company is essentially an economic partnership influencing capital investment, inward and overseas investment, trade and exports. We're focused on growth sectors like creative technologies and future mobilities, and supporting our education sector through university research and links to industry. But it's also responsible for promoting culture and tourism in the region as the destination management organisation, and has a meetings and convention bureau. The Growth Company has relationships with some of the biggest private sector commercial businesses in the West Midlands, but also in the UK and globally, and who we are working with closely on this business and tourism programme. So, for example, the region's strong business offer has already attracted some of India's biggest companies, including Tata Motors, the State Bank of India, Infosys. And so we're using the Queen's Baton Relay as part of this Commonwealth Games celebration to visit India and strengthen and add value to our work with the West Midlands India Partnership. We're also currently planning activity around the Dubai Expo to promote sports tourism, trade and capital investment for the region, along with all our local authority partners. As an interesting footnote, my experience of working with British Cycling and Sky, and more recently HSBC on our societal partnership tells me that the commercial landscape is changing and sponsors in sport or elsewhere are looking to connect at a deeper level. They want to play an active role in equality, diversity, inclusion, sustainability, or being involved in improving the quality of life of their employees. And this fusion of business and culture and sport is a really interesting model within this kind of framework. I know that the size and the scale of the Commonwealth Games is a once in a generation thing. And as hosts, we weren't always or ever blessed with big legacy budgets, nor do I want to imply we have all the answers, but I do certainly think that this blend of tourism, culture and sport with business, trade and investment working together is a significant development worth thinking about. So the City of London and UK Sport published a powerful report last week, the study of soft power, trade and investment. And that report said that sport is worth 48.9 billion GVA to UK economy. That's about 2.6% of the total. It's also the fastest growing sector in tourism, worth 610 billion, representing more than 10% of all travel and tourism seats, according to the UN Tourism Organisation. So just a little bit of detail around our work around sport and major events. The West Midlands region is in the geographical heart of the UK. Birmingham, the major retail and commercial centre, which has a population of about 1.2 million, with a further 4.1 million living in that wider metropolitan area. It's more ethnically diverse than anywhere else in the UK, with 90 different languages. And it's the youngest city in Western Europe, with 46% of its citizens under the age of 30. It's made up of 7 local authority areas, and from a major sporting event point of view, it's blessed with many world-class sporting venues like the Belfry, Edgbaston, NEC and Resorts World Arena, and with new facilities in the pipeline like Sandwell Aquatic Centre and the Alexander Stadium, which is currently being built, all of which are playing host to the 22 Commonwealth Games. But also, West Midlands has an amazing sporting history and heritage. And I know there'll be a few sports fans in the audience, so here's a second of interesting trivia. In 1888, William McGregor of Aston Villa FC invited other clubs to play in regularised games of football, the creation of the Football League. Lawn tennis was invented and first played in Birmingham 150 years ago. Major Harry Jem created the game with J.B. Pereira in a back garden in Ampton Road, Edgbaston. Rugby in Warwickshire is known throughout the world as the birthplace of the game. It was in that market town in 1823, while playing football at his school, William Webb Ellis picked up the ball and ran with it. Edgbaston Stadium, Birmingham's oldest international sports venue, staged its very first test match in 1902, when Australia were bowled out for 36 runs. The Belfry's Brabazon course has hosted more Ryder Cups than any other venue. So we are blessed in having this amazing sporting history and heritage to build on, and some world-class venues in which to host major events. But in terms of our major sporting event strategy, how are we going to approach it? Well, like all of the best plans, very simple. We want to secure 8 major international events by 2027. And my personal ambition is for Birmingham, West Midlands to become recognised nationally and internationally for being a great host of major sporting events, to appear in the top 20 by 2027, joining our great friends in London, Glasgow and Manchester. But we want to focus on events that match our values, that are meaningful and authentic to our partners, our businesses, our communities and our visitors. Events don't sit in a vacuum, and we want to connect them with these things that are really important to us. So whether that is welcoming the World Conference on Women and Sport in 2026, or hosting the International Children's Games in Coventry in 2022, working with our games industry sector partners across the West Midlands to look at e-gaming and e-sports for young people, working with British Kabaddi on some incredibly exciting plans for British and ethnic minority sport in 2022, or hosting the World Blind Games at the University of Birmingham in 2023. Along with our national governing body partners, we want to explore new formats and new events, and we're really excited to do that with them over the next 18 months. But we want our events to have a clear purpose and impact. That means being clear about why we're doing them and what impact we want them to have on our people, our places, and our prosperity. And let's not forget how important hosting major events in the UK are in helping our athletes continue to succeed on the world stage or help to grow interest and profile in sport. So over the coming months, you'll see us building our identity and building the narrative about West Midlands and Birmingham through our national campaigns. We'll be capitalising on opportunities to promote our story, as we're doing today, and sharing our long-term ambition with partners. We want to collaborate with them and start to develop concepts and events that really mean something to our region, and invite expressions of interest from partners and rights holders who share this vision and ambition. So in conclusion, the Commonwealth Games is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for us to promote the West Midlands as a host city, a host region, and to boost the social and economic recovery. It's our global TV advert to the world with 1.5 billion viewers and 1.5 million visitors, and we want them to come back time and again. Thank you for the invitation and the opportunity to speak to you today, Ben and Adam from Host City. Thank you to my friends at Events Scotland, Paul Bush, OBE and Robbie Clyde, and also Billy Garrett and Dr. Bridget McConnell, CBE from Glasgow Life. It's great to see you all again today, along with former colleagues at this conference. And finally, thank you for giving us the opportunity to share our ambitions. I know many of you will be thinking about or planning to come to Birmingham and West Midlands during the Commonwealth Games. And if you've not been for a while, I promise you, it will surprise you. So I'd like to take this opportunity to extend a personal invite to come and see us and let us show you around our great venues and our great region. We'll be hosting some events and providing hospitality around Games time. So please do get in touch with me if you'd like to come. We'd be happy to have you. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to taking part in the rest of the conference over the next 2 days. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Joel, for that inspirational sort of overview there. It's very ambitious. To what extent did you take inspiration from Glasgow and the journey that they've been on since the Commonwealth Games back in 2014? It's brilliant that it's coming back to the UK. So how can you sort of learn from what they've done?
Yeah, thanks, Ben. I was lucky enough to be at the Commonwealth Games in the time I spent British cycling, and I think you've seen over the last 8 years now the kind of growth in confidence of Glasgow and Scotland as a city that does big events. You know, not only in terms of the kind of great infrastructure that they developed in and around the Commonwealth Games, but the confidence they got. It feels like they've put themselves on that kind of global stage. But importantly as well, the event felt very authentic. It was, about the people of Glasgow, and that became a real mantra for them. So if we can only repeat half of that success in Birmingham and West Midlands and use it as a platform to, kind of kick on, then I'll be really pleased.
Yeah, well, I mean, the plan, as you said, it's a simple but very ambitious and well thought through legacy plan that you've just presented there. One of the questions from the audience is, if you could just focus on one area of legacy, if you just have one sort of takeaway, what would it be? Is that a question that's possible to answer?
I suppose very quickly in the time we've got, diversity. Birmingham is a city like no other. The West Midlands is the kind of heart of the industrial revolution. And I keep joking around the office that we want this to be a cultural revolution, that changes the game.
Thanks very much, Joel. There's another question that came in as well about impact for the rest of the country in terms of the trade and investment benefits. presume that falls under the diversity and reach banner.
Well, of course, this is UK government investment. It is about the new kind of landscape, global landscape across the Commonwealth. Commonwealth Games presents a fantastic opportunity to do a lot of that kind of soft power that I spoke about in the presentation. And so our relationships with those Commonwealth nations are incredibly important. And the fact that we can celebrate as a family next year as we're coming out of the terrible last 18 months, couple of years we've lived through, I think is a real cause for optimism.
Yes, not much for next year, but beyond. Great opportunity for the events industry locally and internationally. So thank you so much, Joel, for your time. It's great to see you, and look forward to catching up with you again soon. Thank you.